We're now recording, Joe.
I'm excited.
Me too. Me too. I've been looking forward to this a conversation because let's talk about joy, right? Because we've known each other probably about a decade now, and our paths crossed. I think first of all, probably at sort of festival land, there's sort of Shambara or the Green Gathering or Froome Festival, something like that. And you've been to one or two sessions that I've run, right? Yes. And also, of course, you were a speaker at the Bristol Makes Peace conference back in 2013 with Michael Eavis and Andy Sheppard. And you see, the theme of peace is one that's also in laughter yoga, because laughter, they talk about being for health, happiness, and world peace. And so there's a natural overlap, Joe, between the peace work that you do, right, and the laughter yoga world. So I thought it would be just lovely for people to hear a little bit about you, and in particular, in relation to the two basic joy questions, Joe. So first of all, what is joy to you, Joe? What does joy mean to you?
Yeah, very deep question. Well, I would feel very joyful if we had world peace, but we ain't got there yet. Yeah, what is joy? I think joy is something that I feel when I'm connected to my heart.
Nice, yes.
Joy, for me, joy lives in my heart, and I cannot but help feel joy if I'm in my heart. And there are many, many ways for me to feel in my heart, and many ways to let go of the obstacles that stops me from feeling joy. And the other day I was walking in the Bluebell Woods near Froome. It's a lovely time of the year. Yeah. And with a friend, and we got completely lost. And I just laughed and laughed and laughed. And I just thought it was so funny that we were lost, because you can't be that lost in the wood in England. But anyway, it felt like we were lost. And I just laughed and laughed. And, and unfortunately, my friend didn't share my sense of humor. She wasn't feeling joy, but that's her choice. But I think it was just a moment of feeling such gratitude for the beauty of the bluebells, and in nature, and be able to walk. And when I can be in the moment and I notice tiny, tiny things, like I can look at a bluebell and just feel such exquisite joy. And that links it to gratefulness. Yeah. And these days, every day I write down things I'm grateful for.
Lovely.
And it's really important to let go of. Sometimes I might have some fear about what's going on in the world, or worries, or things are happening that can be difficult. And if I focus on those, I'm not going to feel the joy. So every day I do my gratitude, go out in nature, and I dance on my own. No one ever notices, no one can ever see, because I live on my own. And I do my qigong. And so the self, basically, right now the self-care is very important for gratitude and to feel that joy. And I can be in my home on my own, as I said, and I can feel such joy at just being alive, just feeling what it means to be alive at this time, and to be able to have the choice. Do I go and make some coffee? Can I put some music on? Will I go for a walk? And all those things give me great, great joy.
Yes.
And I think, in a way, I mean, the last year's been hard for many, many people, and I've had my challenges as well. But it's also given me time to focus on what's important. And for me, the heart and gratitude, and part of the heart and feeling joyful is feeling love. And it's a love that's beyond any judgment, any label. I just feel huge love, and it can be on my own, and no one's going to know. that I'm just sitting there just feeling this incredible love for, you know, humanity, for our planet, for myself, and it's a love beyond any kind of sort of personal, subjective, you know, it's the heart love, whatever, universal love, all that kind of stuff. And that makes me feel great joy.
Just you've encompassed everything. It's just fantastic. It's fantastic. How important is joy to you, Joe?
Well, it's very important. You know, having said that, I'm happy on my own. You know, when I do get to be with people, then my joy definitely increases. You know, I was in a school last week in Tower Hamlets with young women who come from the Muslim community who've had challenges in the last year, and I've been listening to them virtually online and supporting them in being positive change makers, and they've done the most amazing kindness project, resilient projects, and I'm with them in the classroom, and we've all got our masks on, and there was such joy in the room, and I know that they've struggled, but because they've been listened to, because they now understand that one way of feeling better is to be kind and grow resilience and be positive, use their voice for change. You know, they were very joyful, and I think it's like, I'm never ever going to diminish pain or struggle or challenges. That always needs to be listened to and heard, like really important. You know, but there comes a time when my life have transformed my pain and trauma into really believing change is possible and working for compassion and for the whole of humanity. And if I didn't feel that joy inside myself, and that joy is about knowing a better world is possible, knowing we all have a voice, knowing we all matter, you know, I can't transmit that or believe in the young people. Like, I see the young people and I just go, wow, phenomenal change makers. That's who they are. You know, they are. And so they feel that from me. They feel heard. They feel acknowledged. And if I arrived in that school feeling burdened by my own problems, and I'd have no space to listen to them, no capacity to see them, I would be too involved in my own, you know, and that's okay. I have days like that. I have very dark days sometimes, you know, just get self-indulgent, self-pity. But when I go there, I'm feeling the joy, they feel it, and they feel heard in their whole being. And so I like to convey what is possible. And for me, that joy is that what connects us is so much more important than anything that separates us, that we all can make a change in the world. And part of that is believing that something else is possible, that we can create change, rather than burdened by all the negative stuff, of which there is a lot, you know, I completely acknowledge that. Does that answer your question?
Just so many interesting things. That going back to what you're saying a few minutes ago, the way that you said that when you know, the more you're in the moment, the more you start to really notice some of the small things, small in inverted commas. And you mentioned, you know, when you're really in the moment, you could notice just a bluebell, you know, and how when we are really in the moment. So listening to what you're saying, you know, that's when suddenly we can become really aware of some of the details that are around us all the time. And when we're a bit caught up in our own story and our own drama, we don't. But when we really come into the moment and really pay attention and notice what's happening around us, well, in the example you gave, sort of the bluebell, communicating with that bluebell sounded rather a joyous experience, Joe.
Oh, it is, you know, and I have another friend I go walking with, and it's like we're on drugs. We just stop and we look at like a leaf or a branch, and we're just like in awe of how beautiful it is. And we just sit there or stand there and just go, oh my God, this is so amazing. And that's how we walk through the woods. And it's incredible. And it's just, Yeah, it is what you said. It's about being in the moment, and I think the last year has allowed me to let go of some of the stresses of just like always being busy
Yeah.
and focusing much more on being in the moment.
Yes, yes. Lovely, lovely. One other thing you mentioned when you were talking about your sort of school experience and this particular sort of group of children you've been with, and one thing that came to mind as you were talking was the way that when you really listen to someone else, when they feel heard, right, their life changes. Right? And I know you know this and very well. But it's actually it's the in a way the power of listening helps activate and open the joy in a fellow human being. Because when we don't feel heard, they're all kind of blocked off, and the anger and the resentment and all those sort of kinds of emotions. So simply, what struck me as you were speaking about your experience with those school children is simply by giving them the space to share their voice and have the experience of being heard. That's actually a way of transmitting joy to a fellow human being.
Very well put.
Well, I'm just rephrasing your observation, Joe.
Okay, well, no, I like the way you put it.
Oh.
I like the way you put it, but it's true. I really do agree, and I've had so many experiences of listening when that happened, and the hardest one and the most powerful, as you know, was with the man who killed my father.
Yeah.
Listening to him disarmed him,
Yeah.
and I love the fact that he was disarmed by with me 20 years ago, like just going to listen to him, and it completely, this man has been in a political activist group, the IRA, been on the run, been in prison, and what disarmed him was being listened to, which says a lot about the power of listening. And that set him up on his journey of saying the cost to his own humanity, and I believe when we go to people and we sort of wag our finger, you've got to change, you're bad, then no one changes like that.
Yes.
Like pretend to, but secretly they're planning their next operation and what they can do to hurt you. People don't change because we tell them. People change because they feel it inside themselves.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
It's obvious, really, isn't
it? It's one of these simple truths. It's so simple that it gets overlooked in the kind of the drama of life, but yes. So I know it's fantastic, Joe. It's fantastic. I know you are happily, amazingly busy. Joe, thank you very, very much for taking the time to have this conversation.
We finished. Okay.
Well, we could. I'm happy to carry on, Joe, but I'm aware that that you are sort of pressured and busy. But
yeah, no, but also I think I love the fact that your videos are quite short, so because people are busy and then they go in and out of them. So I think you're right.
Yes.
You can contact me if they want to know any more about the story or what
I will. Yeah, I will be encouraging them to do that, Joe. So, Joe, lovely. Thank you very, very much, and Joe, and look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Neighbour.
Yes, we could soon be. I think we'll be allowed to meet soon.
Yes, great. Okay, Joe, lovely. Thank you very, very much.
Bye bye. Thank you.